Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 25th June 2023. My name is T.S.V. Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Hari Bol TRSV Nectar NECTAR Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of what we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous videos. So let us continue with the topic for today. For the past few videos, we have been talking about Sanchit Karma, Prarabdha Karma, Agami Karma, and Kriyamana Karma. And we have been discussing about various case studies pertaining to these four types of karma in the lives of every average human living entity. Sanchit karma is the storage of karma of a living entity in all his or her past karmas or deeds in past and past births. Prarabdha karma is just a slice from this Sanchit karma that particular human living entity brings with him or her to work out in a particular birth. The Kriyamana karma is the karma that the same human living entity does on his or her free will in a particular birth. Agami karma is the combination of the residue of his or her prarabdha karma and kriyamana karma which has not been worked out in the same birth or this birth. This combination or residue will be added to his or her Sanchit karma and thus change the coloring of the future prarabdha karma or slice of karma that he or she brings with him or her to work out in a future birth. This has been going on and on and on for several births and deaths of every human living entity. Today we will talk about one person who we will call as LP. His karma or destiny is quite interesting, intriguing, and star-crossed. How we shall find now. This LP was born in the year 1957 in a respectable middle class family. This guy, right from his childhood, was a paradox of sorts. You may say that he swung to opposite ends, both positive and negative. He was, right from his childhood, very intelligent, very talented, educated, restless, with a gap for conversation, and very ambitious. He was a multifarious personality. He gave the name Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of Louis Stevenson a new identity. In other words, he could be portrayed in future as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in a birth. How we will know? After completing his schooling, this guy joined the medical profession, became a doctor and a surgeon in a particular field. He became so famous that he was once the surgeon for a particular ailment for the President of India. He went abroad, came back, and started his own lucrative practice. Further, as I had mentioned before, he was a guy with a multifaceted personality. He was extremely intelligent. All this was a part of his slice of prarabdha karma. His past karma was used to take a slice to be worked out in this particular birth. Hence, probably because of his excellent karma in the past few births, he was born as a multifaceted and very intelligent and capable person in this particular birth. He had lots of very good plus points and he could have reached the sky if he had wanted. However, probably there was something negative in his prarabdha karma also. Despite all his positive qualities, this guy suffered from one of the five major evils that every living entity is likely to suffer. This particular evil is known as greed. Not only that, this greed made this guy pounce into another evil called lust and another one called illusion. As several very good people or very important, influential, powerful, and resourceful people think, this guy also thought that he was indispensable, more so because he had such a great reputation as a medical surgeon. Not only this, he was a magician and he had several other talents like writing, speaking, business acumen, capacity to find how to make money, etc. All the plus points from this boy joined together to make this guy the image of a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. Alas, because of his lust, greed, and illusion, this fantastic guy strayed away and was once caught, caught red-handed in the year 1984 for solicitation. He was arrested and he had to spend some time behind bars because of this evil or this crime. However, it did not change this guy. He became a doctor and began practicing. His practice, because of his extraordinary intelligence and several good qualities, went off very well. This guy made loads of money and settled down comfortably with one office and one huge mansion. However, the same old evil of lust caught up with him this in this birth also. Though he had been caught in 1984, it did not deter him from going into serious crime in the lust business. He began not only soliciting people for sex, but he also made videos of their sexual activities and began selling it in the internet to make money. He was already making money the legitimate way, but because of some vague change or crookedness in his character or something wanting in his psyche, this guy went decidedly evil and illegitimate. There was some flaw in his character, and this had resulted in his doing this particular nasty act. Ultimately, because of his own crimes, he was caught because of his Kriyamana karma. As I had mentioned before, his Prarabdha karma had given him a lot of good things, but probably a tinge of some negative evil in his character. These two combined, and he started making money hand over fist, not only the legitimate way but also the illegitimate way. Here we can safely presume that all this was because of his free will and Kriyamana karma because of that free will. Probably this guy was not initially destined to do all this, but his own Kriyamana karma made him do this. He was caught, accused of all nefarious and sexual activities, plus making videos, etc., tried and convicted to a life imprisonment in a particular city. Undeterred, this guy, who was also a surgeon and a magician, tried to win over his own police authorities inside the prison and in the police lockup by his own talents. Those guys wondered at how such a nice person could become so bad. Initially, people in fact thought that he had been framed because of his nature and his attractiveness, but later on they were puzzled to find that he was caught indeed because of his nefarious activities. This guy had to complete 14 years in the prison, but because of his good conduct and his extraordinary talent in the surgery business, this guy did something good even to the police authorities in the prison and outside, as a result of which he was released after 14 years. He came out, but alas, the damage had been done to his reputation as a practicing surgeon. He was detained and punished by his own medical authorities to such an extent that this guy, despite his extraordinary knowledge and capabilities, had to flee into oblivion. He was constrained by his by the medical authorities to practice his medical profession in the country. Not only that, probably his visits to other foreign countries was also further constrained. This tied his hands and made him helpless. Today he is living in oblivion, though he is not above showing his talent through the internet. Here we are informed that what a person's prarabdha karma and his kriyamana karma can do to the life of a particular person. He or she may be born with a slice of his or her karma to work out in this particular birth, but thanks to his or her free will, this person can swing either on the positive direction or on the negative direction. This life story seems to be a good lesson to every viewer of this video. It shows that whatever your prarabdha karma may be, you have the free will to swing in the positive direction or in the negative direction. We all must choose the positive way so that, as Dr. Abdul Kalam said once, it is not a crime to be born poor, but it is certainly a crime to die poor. Here, he did not mean only financial wealth. He said poverty meant intelligence, experience, maturity, social service, positive thinking, and other such good qualities, including the top of all, spiritualism, which can be used by a free will of a living entity to catapult that particular person to dizzy heights. We must pray to reach this particular road to self realization, liberation, and deliverance so that we ultimately go back to Godhead after completing or coming out of this repeated cycle of life, births, and deaths, and do something good as servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Either we can remain with Him or we can come out in this particular terra firma or in other planets to do good to the society of that particular planet. We can act as representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and work as friends, philosophers, and guides for this particular society in a planet. Thus, we can gather more very good karma, which will be rank spiritual and not at all material. Hence, because it is positive, we need not work out this karma. We will come here as liberated souls, work here as liberated souls, and go back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a lot of very good spiritual karma as liberated souls. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. Please give me your own expert ideas, thoughts, views, and opinion so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. I believe that this case history is quite enlightening and educative to every viewer of this particular video. It will give him or her a chance to improve upon his or her sanchit karma and to work out things in such a way that he or she comes out as a spiritual hero or heroine. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Before we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.